Leah?
What would be your first act as mayor in the District of Columbia with regard to preserving jobs for American citizens and legally authorized immigrant workers?
Yes, within the first 100 days, and this is what I've promised everyone on the campaign trail, that we're going to take the best practices that are being used in South Carolina, Colorado, even Arizona, see what they're doing as far as E-Verify. Tailor-make our policy for Washington, D.C., because we want to be the most progressive, but also the most aggressive form of legislation out there. Because this is the nation's capital. We have to lead instead of follow. So that's my position. Within the first 100 days, we're going to have some legislation. Whether we're going to run it through the council or I sign it by executive order, that's something that's debatable, but it's going to get done.
Leo, I grew up in Washington, D.C., and I've seen the office of mayor go through the pseudo administrations of Walter Washington, the dark days of Marion Barry, and all that which followed. Now, the advantage you have is that Twiddly D and Twiddly Dum are running.
She's good.
What is going to
I need to take you out there with me when I'm campaigning.
What is going to be
That is right.
a big issue, and I know I'm speaking to the choir, but getting people to believe again. I mean, I have heard all the right words before. You're sincere, I know that. But I'm listening to you. You know, I'm on your side. Those same people you talk about living in public housing, they have been there before. And it's going to be a real issue for you to reach them.
Right. I hear that, and I hear it all over, but the interesting thing that we found is that prior to announcing our campaign, we spent about 4 months attending meetings all over the community on a listening tour, if you will. And a lot of people may not know this, but especially east of the river, people, they have a stigma attached to east of the river people. On the west side, they think that those folks on the east side don't want to work. But if you actually go over there and talk to them, they want to work. But they don't understand what happened. Why are they trapped in poverty? And why are their jobs going to other people? They really can't understand that. And then they have politicians who they thought had their backs, who've been on the council and who've been mayors, but for whatever reason, the conditions in Ward 8 have never changed. You know, so I understand they should be jaded. There should be a feeling of hopelessness. But what we have to convey over the next 4.5, 5 months is we actually have a plan. There's no we're not out here selling a dream. We are actually laying out steps to achieve a goal. And that is in this dependency on government, and by turning this community basically into being self-sustainable through jobs, through education. And then when you do that, I firmly believe that you will bring down the crime. You will also shore up families. And then when you shore up families, children, their test scores will start going up as well. So everything is connected: jobs, education, and crime. But you cannot address it by just giving people work programs and giving people training programs, but at the end of the day, there are no jobs because there's no E-Verify to protect your jobs.
And as you just said, they can't read.
That's right. You're absolutely, you have to address the root causes, and if illiteracy is our problem, and this is 2010, we've got to deal with it. Yes, Mike?
Mr. Mayor-elect,
thank you.
You've made a very bold step in signing that pledge to implement E-Verify in the district, something that probably is revolutionary to many of your opponents. Will you challenge them to sign that same kind of pledge? Absolutely.
I have nothing to lose by challenging them. I sincerely doubt that they will, because this is an election year, as you well know, and a lot of politicians in Washington, D.C. are afraid of voter backlash in the Latino community. And I'm going to talk about this honestly. I am not concerned with voter backlash in the Latino community. First of all, as far as I'm concerned, there are not enough of them legal and that can vote to really turn an election. So not in Washington, D.C. So if we concentrate on getting our message to the community, to the faith community, to the returning citizens in Washington, D.C., or ex-cons, if you will, because they can vote, if we concentrate on getting our message to the community and letting them know that this is their opportunity, not only to receive a hand, but a hand up, not a hand out. So this is their chance. So that's our message. So I will challenge them. I would love to see the incumbent and also the other leading candidates for mayor sign this pledge to introduce the federal e-verification program, but I sincerely doubt that they'll sign it.
Or debate you.
Or even, well, they'll debate, but not on this. They won't answer this question. Yes?
Several years ago, the D.C. Council passed a resolution, and the mayor signed it, that the district would have to operate in, I think, 5 different languages, or try to operate and provide services in 5 different languages. I was interested in your comments about English, because I represent an organization that advocates for making English the official language of the United States and of all the 50 states and the District of Columbia. So I just was going to ask you to give me the opportunity to say what your position would be on that law, which costs a lot of money to implement, and is very divisive, and in a way discriminates against people who are born in this country that speak English as their native language.
I appreciate that question, because I don't know if many of you feel the same way I do, but when I call businesses and they say press 1 for English, it really upsets me. It really does. And I think that even though I celebrate diversity and the different ethnicities that make up this beautiful country, I think the one thread that binds us is our language. And that's very important. And it must be taught at an early age. So, yes, I would sign legislation making English the official language of the District of Columbia.
Yeah.